Hey YouTube, this is Jade Storm, coaching Team Shadow Strike, and this is going to be our final third place deck profile. And this is my good friend Sam here, and I'm going to be going through his Aqua Force deck and asking him some questions so he can give you his pure take on the deck, why he plays certain cards, why he only plays, doesn't play others in certain quantities. And so we're just going to jump straight into this one. We've shown you 2 of our certificates, so believe it, he's part of the team. So anyway, for the starting Vanguard, he ran Officer Cadet Andre, which, if you don't know what he does, you counterblast 1, you move into the Soul, and he basically makes a unit a Magnum Assault, essentially, for free. Sam, is there any reason particular that you went with this starter? I mean,
because how the deck runs, you don't need the Grade 3 Searcher, and I don't run solid Maelstrom, so I don't see the point of running the Maelstrom starter.
So,
and Bubble Edge. Bubble Edge is basically like he's a better version of Bubble Edge at that point because he gets to make more columns to attack.
And it is 5K, so it does hit. It's at least getting you at least a magic number. So, then for his triggers, he played the Force Supersonic Sailor, which is the critical trigger that when you put it into the Soul, you unflip a damage. And then he played for Blue Storm Marine General Despenia. Destenia? Despenia.
Is it a B?
Yeah, P.
B.
Basically, if you don't know what she does, I'll read it real quick. When this unit boosts your Vanguard with a Maelstrom in its card name and it's the 4th battle of that turn or more, until the end of that battle, your opponent cannot call grade 0s from the hand to the guard circle at the end of the battle phase. Return this card to the deck and shuffle. I will explain more about this combo in a little bit. But
you don't have to. It just says you can guard
basically 8 crits. So then we play 4. Battle Siren Malika, basically the Margot clone.
Malika.
So pretty much, reasonable. And then he played 1 of each of the 4 heal triggers for Aqua Force.
Because of lols.
So it's fun. And if you hear snoring in the background, that's our friend Aaron, so just pay no mind to that. For the grade 1s, we play 1 of each Sentinel.
For the lols.
The original, the reprint, the set, which one did this come out in? Set 16? Yeah, set 16, and then the trial deck. He literally played 1 of each just for the lulz.
No, I will not play the superior one. The Grand Guard or whatever the fuck you call it.
Torpedo something.
No, I'm just saying that the new perfect.
So, any particular, what's your main reason behind not using it? You just don't like it?
Yeah, mainly because of the simple fact that it only guards the Vanguard. And most Aqua Force decks, you're fearing your opponent taking out your rear guards. Why would you want something that can nullify only a Vanguard attack?
Yeah, it makes sense definitely for that reason.
I've used those perfect guards to guard Magnum Assault or High Tide Sniper more times than I've used them to guard Savas or Glory.
So, 4 perfect guards. Then he played 2 copies of Reliable Strategic Commander. This is your basic self-damager. When this unit is placed on the rear guard or rode as the Vanguard, you may counterblast 1 and take the top card of your deck and put it in the damage zone face up, and then the end phase, you take 1 card and put it back into your deck from the damage zone and shuffle.
You never used her ability, by the way. She was just attack.
Next, he played 4 copies of Kelpie Rider Nikki. This is the Stride Assister for Aqua Force. It can also search out Savas. So you never searched out Savas with it?
No, I completely forgot it could do that.
Well, to be real honest, most of the time you're either going to use this to boost or just ditch it for Stride.
Yeah, I completely. I don't like Stride Assisters. Stride enablers for me are just that's what they do. They Stride enable. I completely forget they search out the big unit for the Heartbreaker for the deck.
And then a card that might surprise some people is 3 copies of Mindstar Trooper. This came in the trial deck. Basically, when he's your Vanguard or Rear Guard and he is attacked, he jumps up to 11K. Sam, why? Explain your reasoning behind this.
Well, writing into him first, my main reason and great example is my first 2 games. I went first. My first game was grade locked on him himself, and my Vanguard for 2 turns. So my opponent was literally at grade 3 by the time I went to grade 2, But with him, I was a constant 11K column for my opponent to get around. Like, he always had to try and make 11Ks, which meant on his grade 2 turn, he called a 9K to the rear guard to just attack, and didn't attack with the Vanguard first. So he went rear guard and then Vanguard. And in that sense, his rear guard was only a 9K beater. He's not getting over Mindstar.
So it leads to basic. So it's fair to say it's a card to just trip your opponent up.
It's a great card to strike. Like, the reason I probably should have ran 4 of it, but I just didn't have another copy of it at the time. But it's mainly there because I want to ride into him first.
Yeah.
Like, that way, on my opponent's turn, if only I get one of my draw triggers in hand, they go for 11 at Vanguard. Well, hey, check it out. There's one to pass.
Yeah. So it's kind of like in my cross deck, Gojo's my first turn ride. Statistically, that's what I always want. This is what you'd always want.
Yeah, always.
But I don't think I saw anyone else, and I saw lots of Aqua Force decks today. I did not see anyone playing this. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. What is your question?
No,
we'll get. That's grade 2s. Following grade 2, I was going to ask that question anyway. Following grade 2s, we play 4 Magnum Assault. Now, basically, what this unit does, he's a generation break unit. Whenever he attacks the Vanguard, and he's boosted, you may counterblast 1, and he restands and gains 2,000 power, putting him at 11K. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is a misprint. You must counterblast 1 to get that effect.
And the plus is continuous, so if you do it on the turn with Lambros, he is still an 11K that stands and gets plus 10 more.
So, is this fair to say this is one of your key combo pieces?
Greatly.
So, yeah. So
and he'll be that. He'll be that in most Aqua Force decks, except for Maelstrom, solid Maelstrom runs, because they're gonna run Deck Sweeper.
Yeah.
In place of him.
Yeah, but. And next we play the 4 Kelpie Rider Dennis, which is just your solid 10K vanilla. Which I'm assuming, I never got Sam's reason behind this, but I'm assuming you rode this for the defensive purpose.
Yep. He was literally for my first grade 2 ride.
Because you could just drop a 10K, and there's no way generally most 2K Vanguards can hit it. Grade 2 Vanguards.
And even most grade 1s. Or grade 3s, it's hard for them to hit.
And then for the last grade 2 he played 4 copies of High Tide Sniper. If you don't know what this card does, I'll read it right quick. It's a G-Break 1. When this unit attacks, and it's the 3rd battle of that turn or more, you may Soul Blast 1, and if you do, he gains 10,000 power.
Until the end of the battle.
Yeah.
Now, he is definitely different than Magnum Assault, and you have to remember, his plus 10K does not stack every time he stands.
Talk about. I mean, did this card steal you any games or leave?
Oh, hell yes! He stole me every game I strode. He stole me the game. Cause bring back out my starter. Okay, so combo deal is when you're on. He is behind your Vanguard because he doesn't really matter. He's going away, so you don't want to have to call another unit for Magnum Assault. But if you have Tidal Assault or High Tide Sniper over in another column, you absorb him into the soul to target High Tide. So then Magnum Assault does his 2 attacks. High Tide comes in on the 3rd, swings for 19. His ability will kick in, allowing High Tide to stand and give him +2 for the rest of the turn. Therefore, his next attack, if you do it, is going to be swinging for 21.
With or without a boost.
With or without a boost.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I never boosted him on that attack because the time I did it, I'm on Lambros. So the Lambros skill goes off, stands him, plus 10k more. So now he's 21 base without his Soul Blast. Attacks again, 31 plus boost.
And triggers that you maybe stacked on top of. Now,
he's a Lambro.
Now let's talk about this because I know it's going to be in the comment section below, and I know you want to get this off your chest. So go ahead. Why no Tidal Assault?
Tidal Assault sucks balls. He does. Everybody's like, oh, I can get 8, 9 attacks off with it, but here's the thing. I just showed you right there a combination that'll constantly get stronger as the attack progresses, and I still got 7 attacks. Minimum. Now, granted, I don't run any stands, but if I were, just think if I were to get a stand and then did his ability again, that's another 31k plus a trigger.
You know, I mean, so...
like, granted, I probably should have played stands a little bit more, but...
Like, I've never put... Like, I looked at Title Assault, and I was like, this thing... I was like, granted, if it's boosted, it can actually hit something.
Yeah, its first attack, it boosted will.
It's only good. To me, its usefulness kind of went away after your opponent left grade 2.
Title Assault was only, like, useful.
Or if you went first and then your opponent fucking right Laurel.
Like, Title Assault is
that was the
Title Assault is only good for early game rush. As soon as you use it, you better intercept that motherfucker or
get him out
fucking dead.
Title Assault is... I would rather run Storm Rider Basil, the 8k plus 2 switcher, over Title Assault.
But it has to attack a Vanguard.
That has to attack a... Well, Title Assault has to attack Vanguard too.
I mean, but
Basil's
still better.
Yeah, Basil is still better because A, he's gaining power. He
switched.
He can
at least swap and give you an 11k.
Give you 11k or give you something else.
And even if you did play Basil in this deck, you could use your Malikas to boost him to 11 and then go to 13, so he can even hit a crossfire.
Behind him, you swap out a 13 for a 19k beater. You're still making numbers.
Yeah.
I will not. I know Title Assault can be good, and people are going to be like, oh, I can make decent numbers with Title Assault. Yeah, you can make decent numbers, but here's the problem. You're never going to see his ass on the field long enough to do anything. Because everybody is like, Title Assault, Title Assault. So you play Narakumi, you play Kagero, you play anything that retires anything, they're going to nuke his bitch ass because he's a target. And that is bad because he is one of the mainstays in your deck that you need to make numbers.
Which one are you talking about?
Title.
Okay.
Same with Basil in that sense, playing against
I
those
didn't know
style
if you were
plans.
still on the old title rack.
It's the same with Basil in that sense. If you're playing Kagero and Narakumi, I mean, they're gonna target Basil at ASAP because he is a unit that gets you your attacks. But the thing with that is that I now have units that don't necessarily get me attacks, and so they're not big targets because the turn after I do Lambros, High Tide Sniper is practically useless. I'm going to toss him away at the first moment.
I remember when people were playing what's that one that draws your card, Valeria?
Yeah, Valeria. When she attacks on the 4th attack and she hits.
Attacks on the 4th or greater.
She hits. You get to pop and draw.
You get to pop and draw.
Basically a Maelstrom effect.
People were playing that, and now I don't see anyone playing that anymore. And I would just say that's still better than Title Assault.
It is.
I agree.
I would probably if I did not run the 10k for its defense, I would actually be running Valeria.
Because Aqua Force is one of those decks that I looked at. I was like,
because
when I first saw Title Assault, I was like, I could see where some people might think this is useful, but this is not a card you want to put in the deck because like even when people were like, oh, I have to play Title Assault, I still wouldn't play Title Assault. I played it a little bit with Title Assault, but I never wanted to have to use Title Assault. It's just I couldn't find the cards that I wanted to play.
And another thing with Title Assault, if you see Title Assault over Magnum, you don't see your Magnum Assault.
Yeah.
But you see Title Assault, and you're trying to run into Lambros, you're not going to get those numbers because you're going to have to use Title Assault to attack twice to make your numbers.
Yeah, and even get a trigger onto him to at least hit magic.
He has to attack a Vanguard
in order to restand. If he could attack a rear guard and gain that effect, he'd be good. But
I would consider him because then he's a 9k there, he hits, and then he's going to restand.
And you can boost him.
Then boost.
Well, kids, I hope you learn that Title Assault sucks shit.
So anyway, guys, there's his reason behind Title Assault because I knew he's been waiting to get that off his chest. But anyway, moving to grade 3s, he played 4 copies of One Who Surpasses the Storm, Savas. I call it Savas, not Thavas, like Sing Saver is not Thing Saver. Basically, this is the stride break of the deck. Generation Break 2. When this unit attacks Vanguard, if it's the 4th battle of that turn or more, and until the end of that battle, he gets +1 critical, and he becomes a Silent Tom. Your opponent can't use grade 0 in order to guard the attack. And then also, when he's strode upon, you may, if it's you choose one of your opponent. Okay.
Okay, first off, Jaden, quit hurting your head. I'll tell you exactly
this fucking writing blends in. Just
no. Okay, so how Savis works. And it's actually been misprinted. And this is another misprint from the trial deck. So yay Bushiro for fucking us over on that. In the red card text, it is actually supposed to say when a unit attacks on the 4th battle of the turn or more, you choose up to 3 of your opponent's rear guards and they choose 1 to retire. Okay. I never really used it for that because I knew people would try and roll shark the ability. Considering it's the same with Magnum. That's why before the tournament started, I asked about Magnum. I should have asked about Savis, because if I could have, then he would have been a lot better with Lambros, because on an opponent with a full field, and Lambros gets to attack for 4, that's target 3, nuke 1. High Tide gets to attack again, target 3 more, nuke 1.
Yeah.
Magnum attack again, target 3 more, nuke 1. I just nuked 3 cards from my opponent for free.
Yeah.
That's probably why he's printed currently as when this unit attacks. But how Bushiro has apparently worded him is he is supposed to say when a unit attacks.
Which makes him a lot better.
Which makes him broken on Lambro's turn.
And then for the final grade 3, he played 4 copies of Blue Storm, Supreme Dragon, Glory Maelstrom, Ultimate Break 5. Whenever this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may counterblast 1. Your opponent cannot call grade 1s to the Guardian Circle.
And he gets +5k.
And he gets +5k. And his second skill, if there's a Maelstrom in the soul, he becomes 13k, which will never happen in this deck. No. But the combo that I was talking about earlier, guys, is if you can get a combo like just this behind your Vanguard and swing for, that'd be 25k. This pretty much...
20.
It's
4 + 5 is 9 + 5.
Oh, I don't know why. Oh, I was giving him 10,000 for some reason. I'm guessing I was thinking about a break ride, but even
with break ride.
But anyway, okay, so that'd be 16, so it'd be 20. Yeah, he's right. It'd be a 20k column, and your opponent essentially, if you're at 5 damage,
and it's the 4th battle of this turn, your opponent cannot.
Your opponent literally
at all.
Your opponent can't nullify it at all. They can't nullify, guard, nothing.
The only way they can guard his attack is if they have 2 rear guards, 2 grade 2 rear guards, and they can intercept to make it a 1 to pass if they're an 11k.
Yeah, but which in that case you would take out that rear guard anyway, right?
Oh yeah, one of my attacks would be guaranteed to try and strike at one of the rear guards.
But yeah, hit 4 Glory Maelstrom. And then for his G deck, he played 4 copies of Marine General of the Heavenly Scales, titled Boar Dragon.
By the way, I will never write his name down in a deck profile list ever again.
Basically, whenever he attacks, and it's the 3rd attack of the turn, and it hits a Vanguard, you can draw a card and superior call 1 from your hand.
You can choose to superior call up to 1 card from your hand.
So yeah, you don't have to do that.
You don't have to, and I played against one person who actually did superior call something, and I'll tell you, it is a decent ability to maybe get more attacks. But like I said, with Savis, with how he is currently printed, it doesn't make any sense because you're going to swing for the 3rd with him, and then the 4th one, because Savis reads when this unit attacks, that 4th one means nothing. Now, if you read like how he's supposed to, that his superior call would make a lot more sense. So how I only used him was if he hit, I got to draw a card, and that's all my opponent could do about it.
So extra draw power, and it's a good first turn stride. And then obviously for the boss of this deck is he played 4 copies of Marine General of Heavenly Silk Lambros. Now, just for sake, I'll read this. The ability is obviously stride. His ability, if this. Obviously, the cost is Persona Flip, so he has to stride at least once, which normally he's going to stride it. Well, obviously he's going to stride it.
Once before.
You don't?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Not for the first ability.
Okay, but anyway, basically, whenever he attacks, and it's the 4th attack or more, he can Persona Flip, restand 2 rear guards, and they both gain plus 10k. If he has 2 face up in the G zone,
I get to give them plus 10k. If I do not have 2 face up, I can only restand 2. That is why he is a good first. Like if you're going first turn, Savas is a great strider. Your first stride. Because it's gonna give, or Lambros is a great first ride because it's gonna give you Savas's limit break, G break, because that's 2 cards instantly in your first stride. Not many decks can do that effectively. And B, it gives you the pressure you need because you still get to stand. So if you're still making decent columns with your fields, like 2 10Ks or even 2 9Ks after getting them to hit the Vanguard, you can attack rear guards, and it causes your opponent to have to drop more. So it's a great way to get yourself back into the game if Aquaforce starts first, because let's face it, everybody knows Aquaforce is a second turn winner.
And it gets you a triple drive to get your hand back up to size.
We're on it now.
So, anyway, guys, that is the 3rd place Aquaforce deck at the Pasadena qualifier. Sam has piloted Aquaforce for a long time, one of the best Aquaforce players I know for sure. The deck worked so well for him today. He was able to...
He lost to 1 mirror match.
He lost to 1 mirror match. He was able to get all the major win conditions off in this deck. He was able to win through Lambros, the stand 2 and game plus 10. He won off Maelstrom. He won off Savas. The deck just gave him so many options and so many ways to work it. He must have... I mean, you probably were asked, 3 or 4 times today, why no Tidal Assault? I think that's fair to say. And he proved you don't need Tidal Assault in this deck. It's completely based.
Yeah, that was the one thing. The one judge that literally hackled Jaden and Christian about why they're not running 4 of those cards.
Me was Calamity Tower.
Absolutely nothing about me not running a single Tidal Assault in the deck.
Yeah, me was Calamity Tower. Christian, it was Commander Laurel, and Sam, it was Tidal Assault. But we showed that.
He said nothing about my Tidal Assault.
Oh, well, for the people who would, it shows that, there's more to a deck than just,
one card. Getting 8 attacks off in a
and knowing how to pilot it and knowing how to take the best advantages of it. But
Clint had one extra question.
Okay, one question, Clint. One.
Okay. I know that Aquaforce is pretty aggro, because I played Aquaforce at one point in time, but I didn't play it long enough to figure out. For people that want to play Aquaforce, I never played it long enough to figure out how to deal with their bad matchups, such as Kagero, maybe even Gear Chronicle. I don't know if Gear Chronicle.
Oh no, I rate Gear Chronicle.
Gear Chronicle.
Kagero can fuck you up.
Well, actually, honestly, the only deck that officially
messed this Kagero would fuck me up when I was playing Aquaforce.
The only deck at the team league that officially just plowed through my deck with the utmost of ease was Narakumi Sweet Command.
Yeah.
And honestly, most of that was really just I wasn't prepared for that matchup.
How would you things like Narakami and Kagero?
To be real honest, because because this seems like a great idea for me to finally make this point, because people have asked me many times, especially when they'll ask me questions about matchups, and in this, people might say to Sam, well, you're going to have a real hard time with Kagero, you're going to have a real time with Narakami, you're going to have a hard time with Paladins, things that can retire and take things off your board. Well, in general, Kagero can have a really good matchup, and take this from me, because I think it's fair to say I've now earned just like Christian and Sam with their respective clans, I think I've earned the title of master with the deck. It takes someone who knows how to pilot it against this deck. Now, if it's someone who doesn't, then Sam knows how to literally tear any Kagero player apart who doesn't know how to combat this deck and doesn't know how to give it the respect they deserve. Because there's a lot of players out there, I'm playing Kagero, I'm playing Narakami, and it matches up really well against Aquaforce, or Gear Chronicle even.
Yeah.
Gear Chronicle in the show Yes, in that specific instance, it worked out well because Jamie let Kronos Command hit. But in so many cases, Sam's going to be able to get basically a Gear Chronicle player to play at his pace. And the one problem that Gear Chronicle has is it has to play at a fast pace or it just can't win. And that's no disrespect to a Gear Chronicle player. And I think all of us played Gear Chronicle at least once today, didn't we? Because I know I did.
Did you, Christian?
Yeah.
Our whole team played against.
Yeah, we all played against, and nothing against them. You know, Gear Chronicle just can. You know, it has to play at its own pace, or it just can't survive.
Okay, so on as a sum up for the question, a good way to figure out or to play if you realize you're playing a deck.
Play conservatively. Or
You play. I wouldn't say extremely conservatively.
Because
play
after
cards.
I played Aquaforce, I found that if I didn't rush the fuck out of them, I wouldn't come out the winner in the end.
Well, see, but that's why. I mean, granted, in early Aquaforce, you had to. It's really what they wanted.
But you almost had to play like at least 2 titles.
Yeah, but how I built it is literally to counteract that. That's why I run Mindstar Sweeper. That's why I run the 10K. Is because that way, when I'm playing...
And Bubble Edge back in the day.
Yeah, and Bubble Edge. So that's why I play them, is because of the simple fact that I'm an 11K grade 1. I'm a 10K grade 2. I'm hard to hit. So I don't have to honestly call field to make up for the lack of power. And then that way I can keep them, and then when I'm ready to push, I push. And 9 times out of 10, because of that, they can't keep up with Aquaforce when they do.
So
because on a Lambros attack, it's gonna be 8, and everyone's gonna hit. You need more than 20k to guard, and most decks can't do that.
Especially clans that spend their hand like Gear Chronicle.
Or Kagero in most cases. Like, they spin their hand to keep you from being able to do stuff. So I'm just going to go, you know what? I'm not going to do anything in the first place. And then when I do stuff, you're not going to really have a field to do anything, and you're going to lose to it because you weren't paying fucking attention.
Yeah, earlier, I didn't say this during James' video, but someone told me that, like, because, like, I was worried when I played my first matchup against the Cross today. Because I haven't played Vanguard in like 3 months. I had no idea how to go against the Cross. And I was sitting there going, I don't know what to do.
27 minutes.
I know, I'm trying to get him to...
The Cross, Jade, tell me, if the Cross's hand... Is the Cross's hand, like, really a lot?
The Cross can take on this deck and have a very successful match against it. But like I said in my deck profile, you have to know how to pilot the Cross. People do not give that deck the respect it deserves and well on how it takes to pilot it. The same way Sam said, you have to know how to pilot Aquaforce or any deck for that matter. But anyway, guys, this video is starting to stretch out to be a little too long for my liking. So anyway, guys, if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them or ask Sam and then reply to him with his answers, or even he can. I don't care. So if you have a question more about Aquaforce or his build or his quest or anything about the deck, feel free to just leave it in the comment section below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up for me, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.